Got a very wicked
Shut up and power up.
Right away, sir.
Is this movie a banger? Yes. But imagine spawning into the Sky High universe and getting the power to turn into liquid. Now, before this video starts, I need y'all to do me a favor. If you're watching this on your phone and you see this button right here, hype up this vid, especially if you enjoyed watching it.
Oh, you fancy, huh? You got tags, huh? You got rigs, huh?
So it starts off with our main character Will Stronghold, who's trying to bench press one plate with his elbows wobbling, trying to get them last minute gains before school starts. His dad is coming up the stairs, so Will starts panicking and adding weight to the bar. The embarrassment from getting caught working out at home was too much. If he's gonna get caught, might as well add every plate on that bit. His dad opens the door and bro is talking about some 255. Oh, hey dad, don't worry, it's just some light work. So his dad is proud, taking off his glasses and sitting down, talking to his son while just casually flipping around a 45-pound plate. The real reason why Will was panicking and adding weight was because his mom and dad are actually the two greatest superheroes to roam the earth. His mom can fly and his dad has super strength. And he has a lot to live up to, cause it's also his first day at his new school, Sky High. A school full of kids whose parents have powers. But Will don't got no type of powers. You slap him across the face and he's folded. Like, look at this. Will's friend Layla walks in to eat some breakfast, and Will also comes downstairs, and that's when his parents get a call. So the commander is like, there's trouble downtown. Big trouble. And we see them pull up to fight a big robot. She's holding her husband by the armpits, letting him fall towards the enemy to punch it in the chest. Will was sitting on the counter, watching the fight on the news. Sad as shit. Seeing his dad pick up the robot's head, cause now he feels like a loser, seeing his parents be so great, while he can barely run laps around the track. Even on the school bus, the driver, Ron Wilson, wasn't letting bro breathe. The second he found out Will's last name was Stronghold, he was starstruck. Passed him the business card too. Yeah, just give me a call anytime. They get to Sky High, and the first thing we see is someone with heat vision and freezing power, and even a woman who can clone herself. And this is where my concerns begin. These two are Lash and Speed. One has super speed while the other can stretch really far. Buddy is tapping the shoulder, talking about some this is speed, as if seeing a fat nigga with super speed isn't already insane. The Flash himself needs tens of thousands of calories per day because of the amount of running he does. This man is cheesing, but he either doesn't use his powers at all or is inhaling every item on the McDonald's menu 4 times a day. Is there something wrong with that? No, but you can understand my concern. Their first class is hero placement, where Coach Boomer appears in front of them, pointing and explaining that each student will demonstrate their powers and get classed as either a hero or a sidekick. And I'm sorry, but this has to be powerist or some form of racism. Imagine waking up for the first day of school, going to your first class, and a teacher in booty shorts is standing there like, oh yeah, you will be the master, and this nigga right here, whose power is to shoot milk out his ass, yeah, he'll be the slave. So they start going up one by one. The first dude had a sleeper build and could turn into a giant rock monster. Then Zach went up next, clapping his hands and saying, voila, I am glowing. He wasn't glowing, obviously, but either way, his powers were to glow in the dark. Next is lil bro right here, who throughout this movie is my biggest concern, since half the times he's involved in the movie literally makes 0 sense. But his power is to turn into a pile of goop, straight liquid. Some people can fly, have super strength, or even super speed, but he gets to tell people that he melts on a hot day. This whole thing really showed that some people got lucky with the superpower roulette, while others got fleeced. There was someone with acid spit. Then next up was a shapeshifter. I was like, yes sir, they giving us back-to-back bangers. And then she turned into a damn guinea pig. I'm confused. Is she supposed to nibble at my toes? Then it was Layla's turn, but she refused to show her powers. She only believes to use them when the situation requires her to. Her powers were pretty much the same as Poison Ivy's, which is to control plants. She better than me. The second someone would have disrespected me, all of a sudden they on the news. This just in. A body was found getting eaten alive by a Venus flytrap. The bell rang, so Will has to wait until after lunch to show off his non-existent powers. So they're all in the cafeteria eating, and Will notices someone staring at him, and they say that it's War and Peace. His mom is a hero, and his dad is a villain. So Will is like, what that gotta do with me? And it turns out that Will's dad, the commander, is the one that arrested Warren's father. Once again, what that gotta do with me? Will goes to the bathroom and sees Ethan coming out the stall after just getting his head flushed down the toilet. Thanks for the swirly, and running out. And this is what makes no sense to me, cause bro can literally turn to liquid. So how is he getting his head flushed in the toilet when he could just turn to goop and slide away? I've never seen someone want to get bullied so badly. It's finally Will's turn to show off his powers, but he's nervous, so he whispers to the teacher, what do you mean you don't know what your power is? Just embarrassing Will in front of the class, and almost killed him by dropping a car down, and then tried to make him fly by launching him into a wall, and made sure the whole school heard that Will's stronghold was a sidekick. So now he's in the infirmary talking with the nurse. He's sitting there like these, while the nurse explains that even with two superhero parents, it's theoretically possible that the kid doesn't have powers. You know, maybe the mailman passed by one day. Will gets home and tells his dad that he needs to have a serious conversation, but his dad wants to show him some first, bringing him down to the secret lair and showing him all the prized possessions, the artifacts that they keep from when they fought their enemies. So Will did what any sane child would do and completely avoided to mention that he doesn't have powers, to not ruin his dad's good mood. The next day at school, they start their lessons for hero support to learn how to be sidekicks. They really enrolled into a superhero school just to get segregated. Shit crazy. Their teacher is All American Boy. I already know his theme song with a suit like oh. But he's a former sidekick for the commander. Zach raises his hand and asks when they get to pick their hero names, and the teacher says that they don't. Nah, when they graduate they get assigned to a hero, and then that hero names them. Every single thing about this concerns me. So because they were born with dog shit powers, they get rewarded by getting assigned to a hero who will then name them as if they were a chihuahua. And to make it worse, the teacher, who was a former sidekick to the strongest hero of all time, and who not only wrote letters to that hero but also saved his life, proceeded to find out from the son of the commander that the commander completely forgot about him. Every time the commander was being asked about All American Boy at the interviews, he was like, who? Thought they were talking about Spencer James, that same nigga who needs to get back in the lab. He can't run routes. He even tried to be like, well, what about your mom, with tears in his eyes, but she ain't never even mentioned bro's suit, let alone him as an actual human being. Bro got assigned as a sidekick, got given a name, and got forgotten about the second he was no longer needed. Oh, and also Zach really does glow in the dark. It still don't serve much purpose though. First human being to get his job replaced by a flashlight. Will was studying at home with his friends when his dad walks in saying hi and asking everyone what their powers are. I melt, I glow, I turn into a guinea pig. He had to take a step back and made his way to the kitchen. And then that's when he starts talking to Will, who says that every one of his friends are sidekicks. So his dad was proud. Look at my son helping the less fortunate. This whole conversation would be a lot more concerning if you replaced the word sidekick with black person. A kid of your stature hanging around a bunch of sidekicks. And I could only imagine what your grandfather would say if I had brought some of them home. You know, Dad, there's none wrong with being a sidekick. Yeah, I know. I used to have one. And once he found out that Will was a sidekick, he was enraged. Bro got so mad he was about to call the school and broke the house phone and had to go in his drawer of replacements to get another one until Will told him that he had no powers. He went ahead and had a long conversation with his wife. "You sure you ain't cheating on me? I haven't seen that mailman in about 15 years. Ain't that around the same age as Will?" He was even debating whether or not he should drop his son in a vat of toxic waste. The little nigga needs to have superpowers by any means. Will is back in the cafeteria where Speed sees some food and obviously takes it and starts munching. And Lash trips Will and causes him to spill his food all over Warren. So now he's pissed. He gets up and grabs Will by the collar and almost sets him on fire. Now this is a superpower I can agree with. Being able to throw fire from the palm of your hands. He was setting up the perfect fastball, trying to cook Will alive. Will tries to run away, but Lash trips him again, making him fall on his face. And he just sees Warren walking up flexing. His dad may be an evil mastermind, but these powers insanely tough. He had Will crawling for his life, and instead of just going around to the side of the tables to easily throw fire and burn him, Warren wanted to prove to the world that he had no brain. So he jumped on the table and started throwing fireballs down towards Will, but made sure to only throw the fire at the side of the tables. He's got the worst aim of all time. Even the food was untouched. Can't even ask him to heat up my steak. Will's friend pulls up and Warren decides he wants to pull out the alt to eviscerate them. But that's when Will gets his super strength and lifts up the table with Warren on it. He's standing there posing and smiling. Even Zach was on the side happy. He don't even know what's going on. And he tosses Warren into the ceiling to land on his back. Everyone is clapping, calling Will the GOAT. So Will turns back to Speed and Lash, who vanish immediately. But at the same time, Warren gets back up and gets launched through a wall, getting back up as if none happened and walking back into the ring to flex some more. He's getting cooked so badly, but his powers look cool though. Everyone cleared the area so quick. They only around when Will is winning. Once there's even a sign of struggle, he's on his own. Layla passes him the fire extinguisher and he uses it to stop Warren, but the principal shows up. Will ain't really care though. What's she gonna do? Expel him and have both his parents knocking at her door? She gonna be sitting there like Lex Luthor. Open that bitch up right now. She don't want that smoke. Will went home and broke through the front door, turning around and seeing his parents just standing there, saying that he's got his powers and casually lifting his mom in the air. But they're just complaining about the fact that he destroyed the cafeteria. Boo! Nah. The meatloaf got burned. Who gives a shit? It was made with rat poison anyways. So his dad brings him down to the lair and celebrates, even gifted him an Xbox. And now came the time for Will to switch up on his day ones. Do not contaminate me with your garbage superpowers, please. He's walking out the room pretending to be sad, looking back, and the second he saw his friend say, "It's okay, go have fun," he started smiling and dipped. Reminds me of my friend who keeps telling people he beat me 12-0 when we 1v1'd in basketball. Nigga doing that shit just to piss me off.
I'm like, oh yeah, this ain't my man. This is not my homie.
Luckily though, he don't got no footage to back up his claims. The crazy part is this ain't even the only superpower world where some people have garbage powers. Deku cries a lot academia, same thing. The boys, same thing. Imagine spawning into the boys universe and instead of getting super speed, heat vision, blood manipulation, or even the power to be a worst version of Aquaman, you would just end up with her power. If you know, you know. Megamind is moving like Drewski, painting himself white, and decided to become a teacher, and tells Will that his partner for the lab will be Gwen, and their assignment is to build a freeze ray. Will looks up and starts panicking, seeing Megamind screaming at another student, because bro accidentally forgot the difference between rays and beams. Gwen helps Will build the freeze ray, and the teacher tested it out by shooting the idiot who forgot basic knowledge, and realized that Gwen is the one who made the freeze ray and not Will. The teacher was expecting it to blow up the student or something. The fact that he actually froze was alarming. But you see how concerning this is? This is the third person that got frozen. On the first day of school, a girl froze 2 dudes. This is how we all are around bad bitches. Yes, we! If Lauren London were to pull up right now, we are all going to be stuttering in the middle of the road, asking her if she would film a scene with Tarantino. By the time we realize what we've said, she'll be calling the cops on you, twin. I'ma be gone. Gwen explains to Will that her powers allow her to control technology with her mind. Will is now talking to Layla when Ethan comes running around the corner calling for help when he gets grabbed away and was about to get shoved in a locker. Once again, this makes no sense considering his powers. They've got my brother out here looking crazy. MLK would be appalled. His power is to melt. He's standing there fixing his glasses as if he can't see how stupid he's moving. He shouldn't even be getting grabbed, let alone shoved in lockers. Zach, on the other hand, there ain't much he could do. Glowing don't help in any situation. And the second Will saved them, they started hiding behind him and insulting Speed and Lash. You see what happened to Warren? Y'all next. Why don't we settle this in PE? Yeah, okay, if Will beats you guys, then you leave us alone. Yeah, and if Will loses, y'all can dunk Ethan's head in the toilet every day. Will was so confused, he ain't even saying none. It's time for the game, and Will ends up getting paired with Warren, and the goal is to save the fake citizen from dying while fighting off the villains. The game starts, and Speed is already causing problems, making Will flip and slide across the gym, getting back up just to get knocked around some more. So Will gets the idea to do this Mickey Mouse jump and break the floor to stop Speed from running and to send Lash crashing down, taking the opportunity to pick him up and tie him to a metal pole. They don't got much time left, and Warren is losing oxygen because of Speed. So Will goes over and grabs Speed, sending him to run into his friend, while Will throws Warren to catch the citizen and win the game. So he's having the time of his life. Ever since he left his day ones, he's been balling. Going home, hearing his dad praise him like never before, and seeing Gwen in the kitchen talking with his mom, started squinting and wiped the smile off his face. His dad is tapping his shoulder, proud of his son. But I don't see none amusing about this. Who invited her? And how does she know where I live? Plus, she's a senior hanging with a freshman.
He said, lock 'em up.
Oh man.
Lock 'em up.
Will is there having a good time, even when Gwen invited his parents to homecoming so that they can receive an award, and he ended up completely forgetting about the fact that he made plans with Layla. His parents decided to show them their school yearbook pictures, and his dad was like, whoa, yeah, nah, that chick right there was weird, bro, just out of nowhere. But anyways, Gwen asked Will to the homecoming dance, and he obviously said yes. The next day, he sees Layla, who passes him a fortune cookie from the restaurant that he left her waiting at, and the note said, your loyalties are unclear when it comes to friends, on that Master Oogway type time. He looked up at her like,
oh, okay, wanna fight this nigga now. I wanna fight, bro.
What you mean?
So anyways, Will is studying with Gwen, and she's asking if they could invite some more people over, but Will is not with it. His parents aren't home, and getting your ass beat by the 2 strongest superheroes don't really seem that fun. Until she got up and was about to leave, he changed his mind, and she invited half the school. Lil bro that could turn into a rock monster broke the couch, and this pissed me off because they thought I wouldn't notice. The girl that can clone herself was sitting here while also being behind Will over here, and when Will went to talk to Gwen, she also had a clone talking to her over here. And when Gwen dragged Will through the hallway, the girl was here and here. I would be so upset if I went to a party and saw the same girl around every corner talking to a different person, and she's taking up mad space in the crib. Will shows Gwen the secret layer because super strength doesn't reinforce your brain apparently. He's still dumb. Layla shows up, and Gwen was being mean and told her to leave. And once Will found out, he decided to break up with Gwen and told everyone to get out. But it didn't even matter because his parents showed up. So Will decides to not go to the dance, but ends up changing his mind once he realizes that Gwen stole a gadget from the Lair and connected the dots, noticing that the girl from the school yearbook had some to do with Gwen. He gets to the school and finds out that Gwen is a super villain and is turning everyone to babies and tells her to put down the children. And she explains that when his parents defeated that villain years ago, that it wasn't her mom, but it was her. She was the girl in the school yearbook. She got hit with her own weapon and turned to a baby, and her minion raised her to be a villain again. Bro said there ain't no second chances. We don't change our ways. So Will was like, oh no, I wasn't in love with a senior. I was in love with a senior citizen.
Lock 'em up.
Oh man.
Lock 'em up.
She tackled him into the school gym, got thrown onto a table, picked up and slammed on her face. She's probably seeing none but scribbles, and got slammed again and thrown onto the stage. Will got confident now and started charging in with his fist ready, sprinting at his target and got smacked away. At one point he thought he had her, but looked up when his friends pulled up and got sent flying out the window, falling down through the dark sky. And that's when the plot armor kicked in, running through his veins like venom. He came flying up slowly in the background. Everyone else got one power. This man said, nah, double it for me. She turned around so quick. They given this man every upgrade in the book. But Will did end up beating her. My boy Ethan got stuck with the power to melt, and Will got 2 of the most OP superpowers to ever exist.
Oh yeah, and I got digits from this Polish chick in Rio. And then I jumped back for the final quarter of the NBA Finals. And all that was before lunch.
Yeah, he's tough. So it starts off with David giving his crush Millie a snow globe as a gift. Walked into the dollar store and saw it for $2.99. Looked at his wallet and almost passed out. Had to use every single penny to buy it, just for this dude Mark to start hating and take it out her hands. Hey Mark, stop it. This that MJ Watson type timing, jumping off the rooftop. This is not your movie. Mark throws the snow globe into the frozen lake and pats David on the back, but he took one last look at his wallet and realized he couldn't buy back another one. So he decides to try and go get the globe back. Millie was telling him to chill, and Mark was like, hey bro, don't be stupid, as if he ain't the one that took it and sent it flying. Niggas be taking your stuff and then pretending to help you look for it. Bro, you're the reason I'm in this predicament. He's trying to take his time on the ice, picking it up and showing Millie that he's the man, just to vanish under the water, getting dragged under the ice and appearing back in the library, coughing up water, looking around surprised, walking out holding the globe in his hand. He goes home and his dad is already mad, asking him where he's been, getting up and grabbing onto him. He had his wet shoes all up in the house. I'd be mad too. But the crazy part is when he realizes that David was just walking outside in the middle of winter and is soaking wet, his main concern was still the wet shoes. Oh, you fell into a lake? Oh, you walked home freezing cold? What that gotta do with you dirtying up my precious floors? David had to lock himself in his room just for his dad to break in, but luckily he jumped back to the library to escape. First man to figure out how to get past the unskippable cutscene. But that's when he realizes that he can teleport. So he teleported back home and took the opportunity to do the same thing his mom did and leave his father. Packing his bags, taking up $100 and stopping by Millie's place to leave her the snow globe, to let her know that he's perfectly fine. It was just a prank, starting a new life in a raggedy old hotel room. The dream life of a New Yorker. Rats fighting in the bathroom. The kitchen is also the bedroom, and it only costs $2.5K a week. What more can you ask for? David spent his time trying to figure out how to use his powers, getting the hang of his new abilities, and this is my first concern. He's doing all this in broad daylight in one of the most populated parks. There's literally hella people walking in the back over here while he just jumps back over to the rock. I know that when someone trips, you're supposed to just ignore it to make them feel less embarrassed. But best believe, if someone teleports in front of me, he not gonna be able to walk the streets. You think you get to do all that, and I don't? You're out your cotton picking mine. Get back to working a 9 to 5. He even managed to jump to the top of the Empire State Building. So like any normal person, the first thing he did was try to make some money. Went over to the bank and asked the security guard where the bathroom is, using the chance to study the layout. And when the time came, he put on the hood. We don't do no type of hero work around here. Yo, David, save us, please.
I'm sorry, little one.
Please! No!
He teleported into the bank bathroom, destroying the place, and then went over to the vault, stealing all the money. And he still couldn't believe it. He's about to be living in luxury. 8 years passed by, and now David is a grown-ass man, living in a penthouse, abusing his powers. Man teleported just to get some out the fridge. Peak laziness. He's just like me. He has every dollar he's ever stolen safe and secure behind a secret wall. He can go to any country he wants as long as he has the location perfectly memorized in his head. Look at him, enjoying life, eating food in the middle of Egypt. But when he gets home after a long hard day of having fun, he looks up to see a black man on the second floor of his apartment. What are you doing in my apartment? You worried about the wrong thing, lil' bro. What type of idiot leaves messages at every place they've robbed? I ain't gonna lie though, one of the notes say, I'll pay you back. He's trolling for the love of the game. He stole that shit and said if I'm lying, I'm flying, just to never give them a dime. David tells Roland to leave and goes to open the door, but can't open it.
Been a while since you used a door, huh?
Walking up to him, smirking and tasing him. He dropped so quick and it got worse. Roland saw the Ronaldinho highlights, kicked him for the goal, tased him once, back to the ground, and made bro spaz. Straight breakdancing. David jumped to the top floor, but Roland follows him, tased him again, pushed him off, and held him up. I hate y'all jumpers, and threw him off the top to land on the couch. And this is another one of my concerns. Look at how Roland is moving just to eviscerate jumpers. But the thing is, you ask him why he's treating jumpers like this, and he's like these.
Yeah, I just gave you 9,999 years. I ain't have to do that, but fuck it.
What?
Imagine having powers and you're getting hunted by people who hate you for being genetically superior. He pulled out a whip to grab the leg, and the only way for David to escape was to teleport to his secret room, cut the wire, grab some money, and teleport to the first place he could think of, which was back at his childhood home. His dad heard the noise and ran up to try and talk to his son, and David was not trying to hear that. He just left. The problem was though that he left all the evidence for Roland, making it easier for them to hunt David. And plus, he wasted no time to go look for Millie. It's like he wanted to be found. He was sitting in the bar where she works but froze up. He didn't know what to do, so he got up to leave, but got stopped by Mark, same dude who threw the snow globe onto that lake, putting his hands on the Balenci shirt, saying that he recognizes David. This nigga better take his hand off my Balenci. Hey, I'm not this David person. David? Yeah, that's me, folded under zero pressure. Mark was being way too flirty with Millie, so David knew what time it was. Punched him in the jaw and then proceeded to go outside. Mark hit him in the ribs, elbow to the back, and had him on the ground. This man in the back was using this opportunity to hold on to his woman. Oh no! Ah! Oh no! Don't worry, I'll protect you. He don't even know what's going on for real. But the only way for David to win was for him to teleport Mark into a bank vault, calling him trash and leaving him there, telling Millie that Mark got scared and ran off. Yeah, the drunk man ran away from the bar, selling alcohol. Anyways, the whole reason for why David came to see Millie was to ask her to come to Rome with him. How do you have all this money? I'm in banking. None of that shit made sense, because anyone in banking would know that they don't have any free time to actually go on vacation. vacation. They have nightmares about financial statements and numbers. She ain't want to ask no more questions though, once she heard it was a first class flight. Next thing you know, they in Rome, standing in front of the hotel. Roland was trying to fool this cop into passing over some information, but he didn't believe that Roland was telling the truth. So he was like, yeah, look at this. Took the file, turned off the cam, and started asking Mark about what happened at the bar. And Mark started snitching. Ain't even have to offer him none. David goes to the Coliseum and sneaks in when he's not supposed to. But the final door to enter the arena is locked off. So he tells Millie to wait while he goes around. But once he gets down there, he sees bro just free balling. Ain't even cross his mind that it was weird for someone else to be there when the place is closed. So he keeps walking and the dude just spawns behind him, explaining that he's also a jumper and that he can't just be going on vacations to Rome because people like Roland called paladins will hunt them down. So once again, I got powers and I can't use them. Have you seen how bad the roads are and the traffic? I'm spamming it, bro. I'm sorry. And you may be like, well, he did rob a bank. Oh, okay. And how do you expect him to pay his bills? Niggas don't do jobs no more. Griffin points and shows the enemies approaching, and David ain't even stick around to find out. He vanished. One tries to attack, but Griffin is an expert with the instant transmission, while David gets grabbed and dragged back down. By the time he got the wire off, they caught him again. Griffin grabbed one and knocked him in a wall and came back to drop the other guy on his face. Even kicked him to make sure he was asleep. This lady saw them though and started screaming, "Police! Police!" So Griffin grabbed the dude and teleported away, but David followed him through his jump scare to his hidden lair. So like any homeowner, Griffin felt violated. What you doing in my home? And ain't your girl still over in Rome? So once David went back, he tried to run out with Millie. Tell me what's going on. It's fine, just walk. No, it's not fine. Hey you, stop right there. Ah, no speaker the Italian. You were in the Coliseum. No. Yeah, that's him right there. So yeah, he was taken into custody. They're asking him where the body is. He's saying he don't know. In the 5 minutes that it took the lady to snitch, I somehow made the body disappear. Come on, chief. Does that even sound logical? But when he gets up and leaves the room, this lady walks in and closes the door. David got up and started stumbling. The woman left him the key to unlock the cuffs, but David was still struck about the fact that this woman was his mom. She left him when he was 5, came back 20 years later just to give him a key and leave again. I'd be sick. After he escapes, he's now at the airport to send Millie home, but she's still stuck over the fact that David hasn't told her everything. So he shows her the bag full of cash and she's still asking questions.
Get the fuck out of here, little nigga.
She started crying. Roland had another plan though, so he went over to David's dad's house claiming to be the IRS. Tax season is around the corner. It's almost time. David's dad asked what's going on, but Roland was already annoyed. Man, let me ask the questions. When was the last time you seen your son?
8 years ago.
8 years? I see what type of father you are. Roland had to ask about the mom. Nah, she left when David was 5. 5? But once he saw a picture of her, he recognized her from somewhere. David's dad tells Roland it's time to leave. He'll call if he hears anything. Roland had to close the door. He already knows bro ain't never hitting his line. And when David went back home, he saw his dad laid out asleep. He had to bring him to the hospital and went over to the police station to press Mark about the fact that Roland knew where his dad was. Mark was confused. Was I not supposed to snitch? I ain't get the memo. I'm telling you, bro snitched for no reason too. He's still locked up in a cell. He gained nothing from telling. And now David has to also worry about Millie's safety. I'm still concerned about the fact that there's racism towards superpowered people. Y'all want to kill me and everyone associated with me because I can teleport? So stop using powers and be normal.
That nigga wasn't talking to me. I'm gonna let that be known right now. He was talking to y'all niggas.
David went back to talk to Griffin, who pushed him and told him to chill. Roland is a very dangerous man,
It's
devious even.
to please that booty. Can you dig it?
Let me handle it. But David ain't gonna leave this important stuff in the hands of someone who's been hunting Roland for years. Are you even trying? Just let me help, bruh. So he followed Griffin all the way to Tokyo, asking him if he's down to team up on some Wolverine and Deadpool type timing. But before accepting the offer, Griffin had to show David that there's levels to this jumper shit, showing off the fact that he can even teleport a whole car. He was cutting up in traffic. I saw him in the air. Nah, he's wildin'. Now that they decided to team up, Griffin lets David know that he needs to go back to school to be able to understand numbers, cause the plane Millie was on landed an hour ago. So he goes over to her apartment, rang the doorbell, and just decided to go through the back door. Rang the doorbell for the fashion. He was entering regardless. She's mad that he left her at the airport in Rome, so he apologizes, but she's still mad and tells him to leave. Nigga, what? He has powers, is being hunted by paladins who want to kill him just because he has powers. They could care less about the fact that he was robbing banks. But because he can wake up and just appear at work without having to worry about being late, they want him gone. And she's mad because he came back into her life, told her to take a day off from being a bartender and hop on a first-class flight to Rome, and sent her back first class. But because he wasn't next to her on the plane, there's a problem. I should just let the paladins take it. David checks outside and sees them pull up. So now he's really panicking and starts confessing his crimes, telling Millie that he's only technically in banking. He's more like Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving back to the less fortunate. Only in this case, the less fortunate is himself, and shows her that he can teleport, grabbing onto her and taking her away to the lair. Roland pulled out the Febreze. Oh yeah, they right here, using a device to open back up the jump scar. Griffin saw that and was pissed. He had one rule: do not bring anyone to the lair. And in less than an hour, David already broke the rule, brought the whole gang. Roland and his crew appear through the portal and see a whole bunch of drawings of Roland's face. This one literally says that they're gonna kill Roland soon. They even got him looking like a model, who he feeling like. David gets grabbed and pulled to the ground, and Roland sent him to the corner, put him in timeout. And just when he was about to end him, Griffin pulls out the flamethrower and lights them up. But Roland was ready. Used the whip to grab a hold of Griffin, pulled him close, backhand, elbow, kicked him to the wall, and started walking him down. The hatred is fueling him. Griffin ran in and blasted him outside, had him rolling around in the sand, got tossed and skipped like some rocks. Griffin took the quad and jumped away and came back with a whole bus. Roland was standing there frightened, mouth open, catching flies. He started crouching down like Sun Jing Woo and jumped under the bus to get out the way. Coming out from under the sand, a completely different person, ready to send Millie on a long-term vacation this time. But Griffin stepped in to save her, using the flamethrower to send him back through the portal. Even sent one of the paladins flying out the window, falling to the ground. And he wasn't done there. He sprinted and jumped into the battle, getting flipped over and taken out a knife just to get a whip attached to his neck and thrown through the wall. In the meantime though, Millie cut David down and told him to forget about the fight and take her home first. I ain't even mad at it, but this ain't the time. You see bro getting his ass handed to him, and your main concern is, hey, send me the $100 first before you end up in the hospital. Griffin comes back through the portal with the machine the paladins used to open the portal in the first place. So it's supposed to be over, the jumpers won, but they managed to catch Millie and bring her back with them. Oh damn bro, they're good. So while they're holding her hostage, Griffin's plan is to go back over there and blow the place up.
We have to get her out of there. I can hear you.
even pointed at his ears. You see them, right? Niggas be screaming, even though I already said yes, I heard you. Bro, I'm still blowing the place up. So David took one of Griffin's prized possessions, his safe, and dropped it, pretending as if it just so happened to slip out of his hands and fell down to the bottom. Griffin felt so disrespected. So when they ended up on top of a pyramid, the first thing he did was kick him, knocked him out, picked him back up, and punched him again. And now it was just David running away with the detonator for the bomb. Look at this. He looked him in the eyes and threw it away. Yo, bro. Griffin jumped over, dived down for the remote, and caught it. But David was still there, grabbing onto him, and now David is surrounded by ice and snow with the detonator in his hand. It's like they forgot that they have more important things to deal with now. Or maybe I was mistaken. He really just domed him with a rusty old truck. David ended up launching Griffin into some electrical cords, which prevented him from being able to use his powers. And David jumps back to Millie's apartment, looking through the window, seeing her held up against a wall. And his genius plan was to just enter normally. Professional bank robber, by the way, since he was 15 years old. He saw that no one was there and ain't even question it. When I tell you that he got caught so quick, the only way for him to get out of this situation was for him to jump the apartment into the water and drown the paladins before jumping back where it all started, in the library. And just like a misbehaving child, Millie slapped the shit out of David to wake him up. But Roland came out the woodworks. He means business. He must have immortality. But David dropped him off with a nice view of the Grand Canyon. And now that he has some free time, he went to go visit his mother, who had a whole new family living in a mansion. She left him when he was 5, cause that's when he first jumped. And the truth is that she's also a paladin who hunts jumpers. So she had a kid that had superpowers, and instead of still loving him, she left. Is that not crazy? So it starts off with the main character Andrew in his room, making sure his camera is working, and his life is just a mess. His mom is having some health issues. His cousin Matt, who is pretty much Andrew's only friend, gives him a ride to school and leaves bro alone to eat lunch outside by himself. Even when he thought he was about to have a conversation with someone, she walked over and was like,
"Do not videotape us, please. It's really creepy."
He was even getting bullied. They took his camera and started smacking his face repeatedly and kicked his camera across the dirty floors. He wasn't even safe at home. He was there smiling, rewatching the footage, and his dad came through the door. "What you watching, little bro?" "Oh, none, just doing some homework." All this because he locked his room door earlier that morning. So yeah, his life was kinda sad. He goes to a party with Matt, but once they entered the building, Matt told Andrew to stay 15 feet away from him at all times. "But I don't know anyone here." "I said at all times, little nigga." Until he sees Andrew talking to this girl, Casey. All of a sudden, Matt wants to come around, acting nonchalant. "Yeah, this party mad lame. A philosopher once said, parties are just people's way of seeking validation. So parties are not really for me, you know what I'm saying?" While standing at a party. That was also his idea to go to, by the way. He was driving the car earlier, asking Andrew to step outside and pull up to the party with him. But once a girl comes around, he all about the stars and the meaning of the universe. He not slick. Andrew was filming this girl dancing, and some drunk dude steps in, throws liquor on the camera, and spat on him. That nasty shit. Andrew started crying outside on the grass while wiping off the lens, until Matt's friend Steve told Andrew to follow him. There's this big hole out in the open, and there was a sound coming from inside, and this is my first concern.
Come on, you guys. Matt, seriously? We didn't. Hey, wait, Steve!
In every single horror movie I've ever watched, whenever I see someone doing some dumb shit, like getting up to check out where the sound is coming from, I think to myself, ain't no nigga nigga doing that? We're gone. But you're telling me that Steve is the first one to go down there? Matt follows Steve and goes in, so Andrew has no choice but to follow. Matt's his ride home. It's either this or walking home. While down there, they find this weird alien looking object, and the next thing you know, they all fall to the ground. When we see them again, the footage is in 4K. Steve looking back, he's making the same face as me. Nah, this shit crispy. Congrats, happy for you. Nice, bro. How much it cost? So Steve throws a ball and domes Matt in the face, left bro with the biggest bruise. So Matt wanted revenge, knocked Steve out with the meanest curveball. But when it was Andrew's turn, he managed to stop the ball with his mind. And it turns out that whatever was in the hole that night gave them telekinesis. So they started spending their days improving their power. They ended up going back to the site where it all started and see that the hole is caved in. An officer was up on the hill talking about some, "Hey, get off the property." Anyways, Andrew is behind the camera telling Matt that they should really try to test out their power, cause right now all they're doing is using it to skip rocks. Might as well take our talents elsewhere. So they decided to go prank people, scare the life out of this kid. And then it was Matt's turn. He wanted to steal the gum out the mouth of this dude in the back. Why? I don't know. But he just ended up giving the nigga a concussion. This lady parked her car and left, and Steve wanted to flex. Manages to drift the car and move it to a completely different spot. So when the lady came back, she was mad confused, finding her car somewhere else. And this is my second concern. You give 3 teenagers superpowers, and plus they're getting stronger. At least one of them gon' turn into a villain. Talking about humans like these.
They deserve to die! All of them!
And Andrew was showing the signs. They were driving home and this dude behind them wouldn't stop honking. Steve looking at bro. I know he sees the rain. We pressed the gas too hard, it's over. So Andrew told him to hold the camera. Make sure you get this in Ultra HD. What you gonna do? Just casually pushing the car off the road. Everyone is panicking and Andrew is just confused. I mean, he not gonna be honking no more, right? Right? The car was flipped over in the water and Steve was just standing there perfectly still before taking off his jacket and belly flopping. Tried to recreate that LeBron dive-in form. He not him and pulled the driver out the car. Matt was calling an ambulance and Andrew wasn't about that. Trying to smack the phone out his hand, bro snitch. After all that shit happened, they decide to set 3 rules. Rule number 1, no using their powers on living things. Rule number 2, you can't use it when you're angry. And number 3, don't use it in public. Andrew was looking at bro.
Who are you talking to right now?
Trust me, he ain't hear a word. The next day, they go out in the middle of nowhere just to look up and see Steve flying in the air and teaches them how to do it too. They get so good at it that they're even flying through clouds. As long as they don't wear capes, they should be good. Steve got knocked out the sky, about to crash down and leave a human-shaped hole in the dirt, but Andrew caught him mid-air and even saved the camera. All of it was so crazy, they were even laying down late at night, saying that it was the best day of their lives, which is how I knew it was over. They're walking and Matt says he has to go and flies away. So Andrew and Steve go chill on a skyscraper, where Andrew shows off the fact that he can now control the camera perfectly with his mind. He's over there getting them nice angles without even looking. But Steve gets the idea for Andrew to use his power to win a talent show. That way he can be popular too and get all the baddies. And that's what he does. Shows off in front of the crowd and goes to a party after where he meets this girl Monica. She saw his performance and wanted to be able to tell her grandkids that her biggest accomplishment in life was getting with a Mickey Mouse magician. Steve was mad excited for bro. Only thing that could upset him now is showing him that Fantastic Four movie he was in. But then he sees the girl rush out the room. Turns out that Andrew puked all over her and now he isn't in the mood for laughter.
You think this is funny? No, I'm not laughing.
Get out! And this is where my concerns come to life. Bro broke rule number 1 immediately. Started using his powers to dismember a spider. They gonna have to call me up real soon and give me that Iron Man suit. I'm ready. But his life really really was messed up. His mom was in the background screaming in pain, and this man's dad was in no rush to get her meds. He was snooping around his son's room and pressed him about the fact that he has a $500 camera when his mom is sick. Even called Andrew a loser. Andrew was trying to tell him, it's fine, I only spent my money. I want to be able to have fun too. You're spending my money. Old man, I just said I'm not spending your money because I have no money.
I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
I spent all my money for your school. School?
Nigga, don't you beat your kids?
I couldn't watch no more. I had to pause and go take a walk. He's about to get sent back to the room. He flipped over the table, threw the chair out the way, and cocked back his arm so far I heard gunshots from him. He's standing over his own son like Mike Tyson and started choking him. Andrew had to push him into the wall before throwing him to the ground. Had bro's limbs twisted up in every direction, twisting and turning in pain. But after that, some evil thoughts were going through Andrew's head, to the point where Matt and Steve could feel it and were in pain too. Andrew was up in the sky, bawling his eyes out, and sees Steve slowly fly up, asking him what's going on. And Andrew is looking at that Life 360. I'm sure I turned this bitch off. How did you find me? And he explains that his nose just randomly started bleeding, and he heard Andrew's voice and somehow knew where to find him. And this is another one of my concerns. You're telling me that our powers are so connected that if one of us turn evil, I feel the repercussions too, so I'm gonna have to start moving like Naruto. Nigga, his crimes are not mine though. What they gotta do with me? Especially considering that Steve was just trying to help, and Andrew sent a lightning bolt to strike him down. They were at the funeral, and this man, Matt, had his eyes locked on Andrew. Nah, I know what you did, bro. Yeah, you go answer these questions. What happened to Steve? Huh? What you mean? He trying to act like Flight. You're telling me that a black man was alone, flying up in the middle of a thunderstorm. You think I'm stupid, Andrew? Were there snow bunnies around? No. So then why was he out there, nigga? Andrew just flew away, and the next day at school, people were making fun of the fact that he puked on that girl. So Andrew went ahead and ripped the bro's teeth out his mouth and started showing them off to the camera. So at this point, he broke all 3 rules that were set and is just going around abusing his powers. I would step in and save the day, but he just ripped the niggas' teeth out their mouth, so I'm good off that. He was so far gone, he started talking about killing insects and animals and casually obliterated the car in the background. Like I said, I'm good off that. You got it, big bro. Andrew was sitting in his room and was getting up to leave when Matt came through the window, telling Andrew that he has to respect the rules or else. Or else what? You not gonna do nothing. I'm stronger than you. Matt was not trying to take that disrespect. Started moving like Drake.
Keep pushing into my routes, I might have to reroute that permanently, you understand me?
Got pushed and pushed him right back, but got his punch stopped with ease, letting go and just turning around to leave. He about to be out there like Netaro, practicing his punches every day for years. He trying to get back in that field and give Andrew that work. Andrew went out to get his mom's meds, but he was so broke so he couldn't get them, and got the idea to put on his dad's old fireman outfit and go see the local bums. That one uncle who be at the barbecue talking about his prime years. He really be motivating me for all the wrong reasons.
Religious?
Well, you 25 asking me, nigga. Like, this is shit I'm talking about. You motivate me, gang.
He pointed his finger and sent one flying and proceeded to send another one flipping before jumping up and stopping dude in his tracks and launched them off screen, all while controlling the camera at the same time to get them angles, showing off the fact that he's really robbing them, taking them doubloons. But them $40 wasn't enough, so he went to the next best option, a gas station, walked in and sent the cashier flying. Yeah, give me that bread. We rich! But you see the way the cashier hopped over the counter with the shotgun. Andrew turned around and took it away, but it set off and blew up the spot, which led to him ending up in the hospital. His dad came by crying. I'm thinking the old man realized his mistakes and is regretting them. Son, your mom is dead. She's gone. And I wasn't there for her because I was out looking for you. So I want you to apologize to me. It was all your fault.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And pointed that dirty finger one too many times. He had one eye open.
You're done.
And destroyed the whole area. Matt felt the disturbance and hopped in the car. Bro forgot that he could fly. And when he gets to the hospital and sees the scene, his girl is behind the camera on some.
Matt, what are we doing here?
We?
You could have stayed home. Andrew comes flying out the building, holding his dad's body over his shoulder and drops him. So Matt has to fly up to catch him before running back to the car and driving off. But he doesn't get far since a helicopter comes crashing down in front of him. There was even an officer trying to tell them to get away and he got snatched. Andrew was moving devious. He even picked up their car and brought them right to him, ripped off the glass and pulled Matt out the car, showing off his superiority. We may be family, but we is not the same. Matt managed to save Casey and pull her out the car and went back towards Andrew, who was up there looking crazy, neck stuck out like these. Plus, he was still filming the entire thing. That's dedication, I ain't gonna lie. Matt was trying to talk some sense into him, saying that they can fly away, start over in Italy or Colombia. But Andrew was just whispering to himself, I'm an apex predator.
Oh, that's Wayne! Nope, don't look at me.
Turned his head and saw a whole bus heading right for him, smacking him into a building. Andrew then landed on a rooftop, getting up, holding his back like an old man, and got tackled, crashing into the road. At this point, I don't even have to mention my concerns. They're destroying the whole area, launching cars at each other, moving like the Avengers, trying to convince civilians that insurance companies will cover the fact that this is the 7th time their car was thrown by the Hulk. Andrew ended up falling down and Matt tried to save him and drag him away, but all the cops started aiming their guns at them.
No. Wait.
Andrew was behind him, getting up and flipped over all the cop cars and chased after Matt, ending up at a different location. The cops pulled back up and Matt already knew what was about to happen. He was telling Andrew to chill, but it was too late. He stopped all the bullets mid-air and sent everyone flying back, and Andrew's powers were getting out of hand. He was destroying everything around them, and the only way for Matt to stop him was to send a spear through his back.